So we are getting started at 1 o'clock. We already have plenty of participants in this session. And we also have plenty of participants who are watching us live on Facebook, which, as you know, is another way of disseminating our activities. I would like to welcome everyone to the third webinar of EN.I.R.I.S.T today, which is presenting the services for shipping and maritime transport. We have a sequence of excellent researchers and colleagues and friends after so many years who have prepared the presentation of services, and we start very logically to actually do anything. You need to build a ship, and to decide to build a ship, you perhaps would like to have a tool. Not that investing in ships is a full science, it's a bit of an art as well, but support tools are always welcome. So we start with EN.I.R.I.S.T, and then, of course, ships sail to ports, and port indicators of resilience are what George Papaioannou is going to present to us. And all this process generates waste. Ship-generated waste is the theme for Associate Professor Lekas, and marine pollution is going to be presented to us by our excellent friend Konstantinos Parinos from the Hellenic Center for Marine Research. And I would, no worries, I will put my presentation first. We also have after the ECOMAR perspective, the air pollution monitoring by Assistant Professor Kotrikla, and then, of course, we have the emission calculation tool for the ship air emissions by Professor Ventikos from the National Technical University of Athens. So if you take this presentation out, I will be able to show to you and start from the past by who's sharing Eva's presentation? Please take it out. Thank you. I can take you to the past, and this is going to give you an idea of our EN.I.R.I.S.T platform, which is dealing with EN.I.R.I.S.T. Well, EN.I.R.I.S.T is one platform out of the 6, but it is the one which has the most difficult task. And this task is, of course, to actually try and show there we are. Or am I showing the same? Yep. No, I think, oops, I am. Good. So let me introduce you to our 6th platform, which, yep, 5, really, which was the one that had this difficult task. You can see some of the things we had to do, that is to create a series of spaces for collecting exhibits in a digitized form, in any form that could be uploaded, but also create an information getaway. The EN.I.R.I.S.T platform is now integrated with EN.I.R.I.S.T+, and in the context of EN.I.R.I.S.T+, we created also both an assistive maritime thesaurus, because beginners for searching maritime exhibits don't know where to start sometimes. And for the ones who know where to start, we have created a more sophisticated tool with the help of Ionian University, which continues our work. And that is a lot of work for many thousand years of history. So we hope we will entice you to go and take a look, as this platform is trying to lure in as many of the digitized exhibits that are around that are not easily findable through other platforms. And we hope that doing this, we can actually understand that in the case of Greece, we are dealing with a huge task of creating a platform for what is perhaps the longest rich maritime history in the world. So I now leave you, I take my presentation out, and I leave you with the rest of my colleagues. Can somebody put Eva's presentation on? Evanthea, you can go on, Dr. Kostidis.
Good morning from NTUA. On behalf of a Laboratory for Maritime Transport of the School of Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering, today I will present, should I use my presentation? I don't know.
Yes, you did upload it before, didn't you?
Yes, but I will do it again.
Good.
It's okay. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, you can. Just be careful and manually go on from the one slide to the other, because sometimes it doesn't allow.
Okay. Okay. Our service is a shipping and financial market decision support tool. The most important goal in any business is actually to maximize profits. This goal is realized through the dynamics and correct strategy of the company, the appropriate planning of the activities, and the most efficient exploitation of each feed. The service developed for the project EN.I.R.I.S.T actually aims to provide a tool for development in different areas of transport activities, the timely identification of business opportunities, securing the required capital, the continuous improvement of the field and the services provided, and exploiting the opportunities presented in the shipping market sector and the technological developments. The shipping and the financial markets decision tool is one of the platforms developed within the EN.I.R.I.S.T program. The main objective is to support users to invest scenarios for new buildings and purchase by any extension to make financial the decision to the parties that are involved. The service supports policy scenarios for funding the decision making for shipping companies, banks, investor decision makers, academic use, and the coverage of the needs as conclude is in order to make a decision of the possible investment by every possible person involved in the shipping sector. So it is.
Excuse me.
Maybe you can advance manually your slides if possible.
Yeah.
You have not shared, the change of your slides.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yes. True. Actually, the platform includes a back-end system for processing all data and the front-end system for displaying the result of the user. Its purpose is to serve and facilitate the financial and administrative users. The development application, after accepting data input for the user, leads them to the proper calculation algorithms and provides numerical results and graphs. Actually we have
Can we see the next, please? Can we see the next slide?
Of course.
We are still in slide 2.
Okay. So actually what we have is that we have a platform that produces results. So we have reliable tools for the investment, such as the net present value, the internal rate of return, and we have frequently criterion for the design of the ship and the study. We're incorporating the concept of the net present value. We have the minimum return, and we have discount rate. So in order to use the platform that we
Evi, sorry, if you're changing your slides, you still have it on design mode. You have to put it on PowerPoint mode. Yeah.
I have it, but I don't know why.
You need to take it manually. It happens many times
Okay.
in webinars over Zoom. This is why I told you from the beginning.
Okay, I see.
Rolling of the slides yourself.
Now you see it?
Go to the slide.
Do you have it or not? Are you
We
in the
can see the login form to the service.
Okay. So we have a platform that we have a back-end system for producing all data and the front-end system for displaying the result of the user. We have an application that its purpose is to serve and facilitate the financial and the administrative users in order to immediate and quick analysis and calculation of important variables and data. And the development application, after accepting data input from the user, leads them to the appropriate calculation algorithms and produce numerical results and graphs. And so we have it, how are we going to log in from the service? We have it, the username and the password, and then it's ready to log in. And the data that is going to be entered is the project duration, the construction duration, operation days, capex, dead weight, gross tonnage, light ship weight, scrap value, charter rate, fixed opex, marine fuel prices, fuel consumption, lubricant prices, lubricant consumption, port fees, WACC, long duration, interest rate, loan sum, port calls, freight bulk, freight container, and freight prices. So if we continue to the form, we see that we have the introduction of information as we have it, the general info, as I said before. We have it, the duration info, the price info,
and if you look at your screen, we need to go to 4, 5, and 6, please. Flash them quickly before us. Take and just put the cursor on 4.
I see. So,
Can we see
do you
4?
see
Can
here?
we see slide 4?
Yes, it's here.
Yes, but if you need to go yourself, we cannot see it.
Okay, now
No, you need to go on 4 and then
I see. Okay.
On the
click on
left-hand
4.
side. On the left-hand side, there.
Yes, exactly. Click on 4, click on 5, click on 6.
Do you
so
see it
that we
now?
can- yeah, we can see it, but you
Perfect.
need to go one by one.
I see. Thank you. So we have the general info, as I said before. We have the duration info, the price info, the consumption info, some other info regarding capex, etc. The freight info. We have previous submission results, and this is one of the advantages of this service. That you can check with the others, and we can have generated cash flows with the ability to find the results of the previous scenarios, of course. We have the results on the charts, as you see here. And finally, we have that our platform menu is in English and Greek. We have a user manual that has been created for the tool. We have access to the service that is available at the link that you see here. We have the username and the password, as I said before. And that's more or less from us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Costidi. Thank you very much. You have created your ship now with your decision support tool, and now it has to sail to port. George Papaioannou is going to safely take it to port, and also give us an idea of the service on port indicators and resilience.
Well, thank you very much, Professor Thanopoulou. I hope everyone can see my screen right now.
Yes, we can see it, and it is full. Normally, you shouldn't need to go manually.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. On behalf of the Transportation and Decision-Making Laboratory of the Department of Shipping, Trade and Transport, I'm going to present the Cruise and Maritime Transport Observatory. So the idea is that we are collecting data, we are developing models and KPIs for maritime transport in the Greek islands. The observatory has 5 functionalities, which is data collection and analysis. Another functionality is consolidation of several data from very dispersed sources on one single online site. Development of models, KPIs, and finally the data is updated with the latest information available. So, as I already mentioned, we are collecting both primary data and secondary data. We are consolidating data from various reputable sources into an online observatory. So, someone who is interested in data about maritime transport in the Greek islands may find all the data that they need on our observatory. This is an example, for instance, where you can see the traffic of vehicles on the Greek ports during the last years. A similar example with cruise data. As I already mentioned, we are developing several types of models, such as discrete choice or agent-based models, econometrics, such as time series analysis and seasonality analysis. And we are also developing simulation models, which are used to other projects as well, which I'm going to mention later. We are developing KPIs such as trend seasonality and traffic of Greek ports and visualizing them through adequate graphs such as bubble graphs or bar and line charts. Data, as I already mentioned, is updated with the latest information whenever available. The important thing is that the Cruise and Maritime Transport Observatory partially supports with data other projects, such as the project EN.I.R.I.S.T, which enhances resiliency of Greek ports against climate hazards, and the project EN.I.R.I.S.T, which promotes sustainable fuels and sustainable and renewable energy sources on the maritime industry. So the vision of EN.I.R.I.S.T is to enhance resiliency of Greek ports, to develop vulnerability assessment models for Greek ports, and to perform process mapping of the process of becoming resilient for the Greek ports. We are using data from both EN.I.R.I.S.T and EN.I.R.I.S.T+, and we are collecting primary data as well from surveys to develop a decision support system that will evaluate the port's vulnerability and develop the operational protocols needed for resiliency due to climate change. We have also presence in many international events and several publications. So that's all for me. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, George, for bringing safely the ship of Dr. Kostidis to port, to a resilient port, hopefully, which will have to receive some of the ship-generated waste that Associate Professor Dimitris Lekas is going to talk to us about.
Thank you very much. So we are looking at generated waste from ships and how we can understand and monitor them. We have been working under the ECO-MARPOL platform of EN.I.R.I.S.T. So we are looking at interactions between ship and transportation on the sea, in the sea, with the environment and what pressures are we putting, but we are focusing on significant types of waste produced by ship, not pollution generated by an accident, for example. Therefore, we are looking at port reception facilities and management facilities. We are working at different types of vessels and waste categories. Okay, we are trying to estimate the quantities and qualities, the types. We are looking at what is the environmental management systems in ports, and who is involved and who is responsible for what are the competent authorities, and of course the legislative framework, which is something that we know that it is under IMO. This is the GIS tool that we have been working together under the ECO-MARPOL platform. So we are looking at the port reception facilities throughout Greece. We have linked these facilities with the IMO website, presenting all the data related to the who is the service provider and also the categories of the wastes that we are looking at. Therefore, our tool, our application, let's say, was related on what are the ship-generated wastes in the annex of ECO-MARPOL, and especially the annex 4 and 5 related to wastewaters and solid waste from the ships that are arriving on the port. And we were looking at the cases of Piraeus, Volos, and Mytilene, and the parameters that are important are the passengers and the hours of the travel, which the hours of travel is a quite easy data. However, the passengers is not an easy. data to acquire. We are not looking at data like a cumulative monthly information, but we need to know for ship-specific information, which is not an easy data to access. Therefore, we set up our methodology, setting up the ports, getting information from our traffic, understanding the different types of vessels. We did the simulations and produced the results. In the case study that I'm presenting, we are looking at the passengers vessels arriving at Volos. This is the data we get from EN.I.R.I.S.T on the quantities of the waste. And as you can see, we can break them down a little bit on monthly data. However, we have to relate on travel times of each ship and the passengers for each ship. So the exercise that we did, we tried to estimate a profile of πληρότητα, sorry, I'm missing the occupancy of thank you, of the ships, and then we did have we tried to have to fit our model related to what it is from the actual data, the total data that have been recorded in Volos, and the results that came out from our model. So this is an exercise that we did in order to calibrate our methodology, but still the best case would be if we have the actual data or the passenger data for each ship arriving at the port or the ship that we are expecting to arrive at the port. Therefore, we could know what are the amounts of the materials coming out. This is pretty much. Thank you for the attention, and we are happy to still communicate and develop the methodologies that we are looking at.
Thank you very much, Professor Lekas. From now the waste generated by the ship, let's take a look at the other waste, which is accidental, usually, sometimes is also operational, and it has to do with oil, as in the hydrocarbon form, when it gets to the sea, which creates usually one of the most severe pollutions if it is in substantial quantities. So one of our platforms, the ECOMARPOL, is doing exactly that, is monitoring the result of these maritime activities in these terms. Am I correct, Konstantinos Parinos from the Hellenic Center for Marine Research?
Yes, Professor Vanapoulou, thank you very much. Dear friends, I'm going to present you the ECOMARPOL perspective concerning the marine pollution as a result of maritime activities in the Hellenic Seas. It's our contribution from the Institute of Oceanography of HCMR to the ECOMARPOL platform. What we did actually is that we collected new and analyzed existing data on the impact of maritime activities on the marine environment of coastal but also offshore areas of interest along the Hellenic Seas. We are talking about ports, national, international shipping and trade routes. And our data focused on pollution from petroleum hydrocarbons and other organic pollutants in marine sediments, water, but also maritime incidents which resulted in pollution by petroleum hydrocarbons or other hazardous chemicals. Of course, we prepared and disseminated online this database in collaboration with the Department of Marine Sciences, which was, of course, the head of the ECOMARPOL service. And now let's see an overview of the available data. The first thing, of course, we included data on marine sediments, which constitute the final repository of hydrocarbons and, of course, other organic pollutants in the marine environment. The second one, we also included the pollution record in the LSS Bay, highly polluted LSS Bay in the Saronikos Gulf area, in order to have the background of pollution, at least in this area. And we also focus on suspended particulate matter, which in the marine environment is the marine particles that they flow along with currents. So you are also able to have an overview of all mechanisms that drive the overall distribution and fate of hydrocarbons. Then, of course, we added data on marine waters, which I have to say that they are within the context of the Marine Strategy Framework Directive monitoring we have, for which HMR is responsible for the Greek seas. And of course, we also added in the database all oil spill incidents, which all incidents, let's say maritime incidents, both big and small, which caused pollution by oil or other hazardous chemicals over the past 40 years. As you can see, this gave us the opportunity to have a wide overview of many compartments within the marine environment on petroleum hydrocarbons and other hazardous chemicals, which of course can be very useful on providing background information, especially for decision makers in the case of an incident, let's say. And we plan to further develop this database, also including more info on the background of pollution. With this, I want to thank you very much, and we will be very happy to further discuss this or other issues of the ECOMAR call.
Thank you very, very much, Konstantinos Parinos, and thank you everyone there in the Hellenic Center for Marine Research, the well-known ELKETHE in Greece, in its Greek acronym. And now Assistant Professor Anna Kotrikla from our department, the University of the Aegean, is going now from sea to where? Air pollution, taking us closer to the closure of the, yep, we can see your presentation, not in full slideshow mode, but it doesn't matter.
Now?
Yes, now we can. Excellent.
Does it change, Professor Theropoulou?
Excellent, excellent.
Okay, great, thank you. Thank you, Professor Theropoulou. Good afternoon, all. I'm going to talk to you for the air quality monitoring with low-cost sensors, a part of an EN.I.R.I.S.T class. We have conducted with Dr. Fameli and Professor Theropoulou. The aim of the study was to monitor the air quality in 6 Aegean islands for particulate matter in 6 islands and for gas pollutants in EN.I.R.I.S.T, and to compare the pollution levels with the thresholds of the European Union to detect sources of pollution and to provide data to the public in order to raise awareness. This is the first time that such a study is conducted in the area in such a large geographical and time scale. I'm going to focus on only a few of the results because of the time. First of all, here to the left of the screen, you can see some graphs showing the hour during the 24 hours of the day and the concentrations to the y-axis of the particulate matter with aerodynamic diameter of 2.5 and less, which are the most dangerous. We can see for different seasons, as you can see here, that the highest levels are detected during the winter months, as you can see, especially in Chios, Lesbos, Samos, and Rhodes. This is probably due to the use of stoves and fireplaces and the use of biomass burning, of wood burning in these areas, because we have gone there and conducted some surveys, some interviews with the people, and it was much more common to Chios, Lesbos, and Samos to use fireplaces and stoves compared to Rhodes and Syros actually. Sorry?
Yes, somebody is trying to, are we having a problem with the screen? No, I think we're fine.
No, Yorgos Parinos I think he has his mic on.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a result regarding particulate matter concentrations. And then we have the gas pollutants. I show you here the pollution by carbon monoxide and nitrogen dioxide. We can see that we have different patterns for these two pollutants. For carbon monoxide, the highest levels are detected during the winter, whereas for nitrogen dioxide, they're detected during the summertime. And both of these pollutants have as an anthropogenic source combustion of fossil fuels or biomass, although with different mechanisms. However, we can see that carbon dioxide is probably more related to traffic emissions, which means the combustion of fossil fuels in the engines of cars and trucks, because this is more, the traffic in the Aegean Islands is more intense during the summer. That's why we probably have higher levels in summer for nitrogen dioxide, whereas for carbon monoxide, the levels are higher in the winter, connecting this pollutant with incomplete combustion in stoves and etc. So we also see here that we have two peaks in for both the pollutants during all the seasons. The first peak is in the morning. It's connected probably with increased activity that we have in the morning for heating our houses or for traffic. And perhaps there is an influence from the ship here, because we have some levels very early in the morning, that we have the arrival and departure of ships. And also we have some high levels during the afternoon or night, which is also connected with probably higher traffic levels and use of domestic heating. So these are some of our results. And we can see, summarizing other findings, that the pollution levels we have detected are always lower compared to the EU standards, which is very important. And this means that the air quality in the islands ranges from very good to excellent. Of course, we have some cases of higher pollution levels that could be addressed by good practices in domestic heating and some traffic arrangements. And based on these results, we can have future research regarding indoor air pollution, what happens inside the homes of people, in future research in hotspots that we have detected by the port or in some streets that be addressed as street canyons. And also we can monitor some climatic parameters. We give all these results to the public, as I said at the beginning, the platform. In this platform, you can see all the islands, and you can just click over these circles and see what are the pollution levels during some period 7 days before, with a large analysis of 1 minute or 1 hour, and someone can download this data. And also, we have already some requests to give data to organizations in order to see the situation for the last 1 year, which is very good for us. And finally, we made, of course, some scientific publications and more than this, but also we have some media interest for this research. We have talked with Καθημερινή, Ελεύθερος Τύπος, CNN, etc., to explain exactly what we have found in this research. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. And after Dr. Kotrikla's presentation, we actually conclude with, again, the EN.I.R.I.S.T emission calculator tool for the ship air emissions by Professor Ventikos of the National Technical University of Athens. We can see it. You can put it also in full mode.
Is it okay?
It's not, but you can manually advance it if you want to.
It is not, eh?
It is not, doesn't matter. It does it. It is very temperamental, I have found out, when and what is going to show.
It is an NTUA thing then. Give me one second.
It's many things. It doesn't have one reason.
Give me 1 second if I can.
Not a problem. We are on time, so we can wait for you for a minute. No, don't
give me 1 second if I can do it now like this. Give me 1 second. What about now? Is it okay now?
Yep, you're perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Elena. So I'm Nikolaos Vedikos. I also come from the National Technical University of Athens, School of Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering, from the Laboratory for Maritime Transport, and I'm heading a group there called Maritime EN.I.R.I.S.T Group. I will very briefly present the calculator tool that we have on the platform, on the ECOMARPOL platform, which calculates ship air emissions, as the title shows. So there are a lot of calculators out there. We wanted to do something on our own, something that the researchers, something that the students and the scientists can use freely. It is purely developed on Python, and we hope that this will be very, very useful for all the scientific community in Greece and all over the world. Let me see now whether it changes. Hopefully you can see our next slide, my next slide now. So what this tool does, it actually follows a bottom-up approach, which is activity-based, in the sense that we can calculate the emissions from a ship, from a part of the fleet, from a whole fleet, or from a fleet operating in an area. So this is more like a macroscopic tool, which calculate emissions as a function of the emission factor per type of fuel, the consumption and trip duration and other characteristics of the trip. So what we need in order to perform our calculation, we need the ship data, and of course some other input in terms of operational profiles. Then we do our maths and we give results. The results I will briefly show an example later on. And the thing is that we are mainly focusing on CO2, but also we are dealing with pollutants like SOx, NOx, and particulate matters. And we are doing that for various types of ships, like bulkers, tankers, container vessels, RoPax, ferries, cruise ships, and all of this kind of stuff. So, what kind of fuel are we dealing with? We can deal with low sulfur heavy fuel oil, ultra low sulfur heavy fuel oil. We have also functions for diesel oil, gas oil, also for methanol and LNG. So this is more or less the rationale that the tool operates. It is, as we said, you can find it on the platform, on the ECOMARPOL platform, and you can see it over here. There's a special link for our tool. And what we have, this is a slide, of course, it is in Greek, the current version, and this is about the calculation of their emissions from a single ship. And you can see that the tool requires a set of data, but we have designed and developed the tool in the sense that the user should not put a lot of data there, because this is, we wanted to make a very user-friendly tool. So you can see that here we will calculate the air emissions for a specific trip from the northern part of Greece in Alexandroupoli to a place very close to a port very close to Athens, to Aspropyrgos. And you can see that we have various slots there in the information field. We need the size of the ship. We have a drop down, let's say, menu for the types of fuel that somebody can use. We need the power of the ship, the RPM of the vessel, in order to have, the whole operational profile and go forward with our calculation. So as you can see, there are not so many data that are required for the ship level of calculation. And we can give various results, mainly either on graphs or in tabular forms. Here we have pick a couple of them. On the left-hand side, it's a pie, where you can see the CO2 equivalent emissions per ship, per engine type, in the sense that it's different for the main engines of the ship, different for auxiliary engines, and for the boiler, if such a case exists. And on the right-hand side, it's a bar. There are various diagrams that we can calculate and we can perform. On the right-hand side, there's a bar diagram where you can see the air emissions per, these are specifically for the pollutants. So the blue bar are NOxes, the gray are SOxes, and the green ones are for particular matter. For the specific ship, if you have seen in the first here, we have put that the ship is equipped with scrubbers in order to test that indeed there's a minimum emission for SOx coming out from that ship.
SOx,
I think
it means oxides of sulfur, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is it from us. The tool is out there. It's open. It's free. So you can use it and let us know how you find it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Vendikos. Although we have no questions from the audience, there could be perhaps questions that have arisen in the meantime. So please write them as soon as you can. We would like to thank everyone, and there were plenty who attended this webinar. And I would like also to thank all the speakers for their very elaborate presentations, which are focused, of course, on the issues, classic and new ones, that shipping is facing. In shipping, the prime question is, do I build a ship? Do I scrap a ship? Then, of course, is how to safely operate it. And nowadays, the most important is how to operate it without leaving a negative footprint, I would say, a propeller print, or on the surface of the sea, but also in the air that we all breathe, as the climate change has made these problems, and also the way we have developed as a civilization has made all these problems even more critical for survival. We have found this out recently, rather bitterly. So I would check for the last time. I see no open questions. So we answered everything, or so it seems, or our audience is shy putting questions forward. Please, anyone attending, watch this space, by this meaning that EN.I.R.I.S.T and EN.I.R.I.S.T+, if you go and look at our services as we integrate, we have finished both projects and we have finished also the integration. So I can see the coordinator of EN.I.R.I.S.T, Professor Polidoropoulou, who would like perhaps to say a couple of words as we are closing this cycle of the 3 webinars of today, each one focused on one thematic area.
Thank you very much, and from me as well, for your attendance. It was great having you with us, and for us also to be able to present complete the services that we have developed for the past 6 years, and we are looking forward to continue doing so. So thank you very much, and thank you, Professor Thanopoulou, for the great workshop that you led. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Oh,
We have a hand.
we have, no, it's not a question, but we have somebody who has raised a hand. But we don't have a question. The webinar does not allow the participation, and you need to write whatever you want to, in the Q&A, in the question and answers underneath at the very bottom of the screen. If there is anyone who would like to put a question forward for any of our speakers, they are most welcome to write. But maybe it was just an accidental sort of reaction, as this gives the possibility, the webinar menu gives the possibility of adding reactions. So
Then
probably
it is for Kostas Parinos. If it's an accidental, it will be fine.
Yeah, but I will put a reaction on. There we are.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, done. Thank you so much.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Great.
Bye-bye.
Great.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very
Bye-bye.
much.